Well, I'm not sure, but I'm having some kind of problem with the throttle. It's almost like the engine cut down in power, so I'm using more amps, but it's not turning as much. Hi everybody, so in this video I have my first major breakdown, and the first of a couple ahead of me, but this one was problematic. I ended up having a major catastrophe with the controller on the electric motor right in the middle of the Murray Canal. Is that an otter? It is an otter. Look at that. He's caught something in his mouth. I'm going to be making my way down the canal. Let's check in, see if he's there. Brighton Bridge, Brighton Bridge, Brighton Bridge. This is sailing vessel Northern Comfort, Northern Comfort, Northern Comfort at the West End entrance. Over. Now that I put the AIS in, I'm not 100% sure if it works, so maybe he didn't hear me. So I'm going to put this outside, and then hopefully it picks up. Brighton Bridge, Brighton Bridge. This is sailing vessel Northern Comfort at the west entrance. Come in.
Brighton Bridge, go ahead.
Looking to leave, heading your way in about 5-10 minutes. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's wonderful. Everything's all set up there, and once you cast off, we'll be able to see you out there in the canal, and I'll monitor your progress, and I'll advise with regards to the swing. Just stay on 1-4.
Thank you. Sailing vessel Northern Comfort on 1-4.
Brighton Bridge, standing by 1-4.
There we go. So I'm going to get underway now. So I did my blower tests. Power looks good. I'm going to pull that line, pull the front, and actually, you know what? I'm going to leave the spring line. I'm going to take the spring line off, and then I'll do the front last, and then hop on. That seemed to go okay. .9, 5.7 on the gauge, so I'm hoping that's weeds. So that's the piers I was on. And now I'm headed this way. And I'm showing 10 feet depth here in the middle. And I suspect I've got about a knot of current against me. It says I'm doing 3.5 and I'm doing 2.6. So I got wind against me, 11 knots, 12 knots right now. And I got current against me about a knot. So see how long it takes. Leaving at 9:15 in the morning on the 15th. Father's Day today. Happy Father's Day. Bought this boat with very little. Had no working engine, no instruments, and I gutted it. I pulled the engine out, and then I decided to go electric. So I put an electric motor in, and had a whole learning curve about that. So I learned about batteries and charging systems and wiring and house banks, all the different solar panel and monitoring systems. And that's what this channel is about. It's about sharing the knowledge that I learned, documenting my journey as I retrofitted this boat. I'm looking forward to next year. Next year I'm going to be taking the boat out to the coast and to the ocean, and I'm looking forward to that. So hopefully you can follow along and join me. Leaving the west end of Murray Canal in Presqu'ile Bay. So I was just doing 4.3 knots, and speed over ground is 3 knots. So it looks like the current and the wind is slowing me down by about a knot and a half, knot 0.25, so a knot and a quarter. Canal's beautiful. And just as an FYI, according to the bridge operator, the canal is, or the current in the canal is dependent upon the wind here. So if the wind is blowing east to west, the current is that way. And if the wind is blowing west to east, the current, sorry, I got that backwards. If the wind is blowing to the east, then the current is also going to the east. And if the wind is blowing to the west, then the current is also going to the west through the canal. So just my luck. I've got 14 knots here wind is what it's showing me. So we'll just take our time, don't overload the motor. We'll get there when we get there.
Hey, right bridge master calling northern dancer, right bridge master hailing the northern dancer.
Go ahead, bridge.
Yep, we need you to keep making your way down to the bridge here. What's your current speed there? About 2.5, 3 knots?
3 knots speed over ground.
Okay, you just need to bring it in a little bit closer and we'll get a swing going for you.
Well, that was nice. He checked in with me. I was going to get nervous because there's a red light on the bridge. I'll show that to you. If you look ahead, so he just wants me to get a little closer, and then he's going to open it up. That's what he's saying.
Northern dancer there, you're going to start to see the bridge break open here in a few seconds.
Understood. Thank you.
Got everything fine here, so I'll ask you just keep making your way to the bridge.
It's going okay. Temperature is 48 on the motor. It started at 30, so I've gone up 18 degrees. Got 12 feet of clearance under my keel. And that's the bridge there. Take a beat.
The wind current blowing. I know, it switches from day to day.
I'm down about 2 knots. Have a great day, Pete.
You do that.
It's a little sloppy. I'm holding a course of 77, but I think it's the current going through the bridge. And this bridge, the Brighton Bridge, is part of this whole canal is part of the Trent-Severn Waterway. Anyways, like I said, I'm feeling almost 2 knots of drag, so because I'm doing 4.5, and I've gotten 3 knots on the 4.5 on the boat speed, and I'm doing 3 knots, so I'm knot and a half wind and current against me. My throttle, I've learned a new problem. When waves come, because I was pounding through waves and I had the motor on, the throttle's heavy, like up here. So what happens is that it slowly goes forward, and you end up using more speed than you want to use. And in fact, at one point, it just went all the way down, and I had max speed, which I have it RPM limited to 2,500 watts, or watt limited, I guess, power limited. Just for safety, I don't want to have the motor go more than that, which is 25% of the motor, and there's no point because the boat goes more than max speed. And also my prop starts to cavitate. So once you start having prop cavitation, it's like, okay, it's the wrong prop, it's the wrong, you know what, if there's somebody out there that really knows that stuff well, would I be better off to have a slightly less pitch on my prop and have a little bit more RPM? But more RPM means more energy consumption. So right now I'm using like between 15 and 20 amps. It's variable with the wind. And I've got a lot of wind. I got 12 knots right now against me. And so I'm using 52 degrees. Oh, sorry, my engine is just 52, so it really means it's probably like 72. So it's working. And I'm using 1300 watts total for everything, including my fans. My fans are about 80 watts, so I'm using like 1250 watts to move the motor. And yeah, we're cruising along. So I'm just going to keep an eye on the temperature. The temperature is more important to me than as long as it stays the same and doesn't keep going up. If it goes up, I got to slow it down a little bit, let it cool off, and then go. That would be my plan of attack. So I've gone from there to there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've got a ways to go. So I went maybe 20% so far. And let's look at my time. 9:44. So half an hour for 20%. So I'm just going to try to keep it at 3 knots. Anyway, so what I ended up doing in the bay was I put this piece of cardboard with a rubber band on it, and I shoved it in there so it stopped bouncing around, and then it sort of held my my speed where I wanted it to be. So yeah, it was much more calm that way and stable. The throttle didn't keep bouncing around on me. I was constantly going back and readjusting the speeds. There's some kind of like pier. There's a couple of cleats or turnbuckles there. I'm about halfway on the canal. Still 14 feet. It's been pretty consistent. 14, 15 feet. Temperature's been pretty consistent. 54, 55, 56 was touching. I've slowed down just a touch, a hair, brought it from 14 to 11 amps. I guess it'd be better to show the wattage. So I'm doing basically 1,000 watts on the motor, traveling at 3.8 knots, 3.7, and I'm getting 1 knot now, so 2.7 over ground. Just keeping it consistent. It's a beautiful canal. At public docking, there's a few things here to dock some big boats. They have a little fire pit. Looks like a nice place to stop. And I'm about halfway. No, I'm not halfway. But I'm traveling. That's the Brighton Bridge down there. And that's the, not the middle thing here, but you can see the carrying place bridge. I don't know what there's like flower trees or flower bushes everywhere. I don't know what those are called. But yeah, it's really pretty. I hear birds. There's like nothing out here. I'm coming up to looks like an old bridge. So I'm just going to go through that another squeeze point. And I can see the bridge further down. So I'm still about, I don't know, probably 2 miles from the bridge. 2.5, 3 miles. Still a ways to go. Not sure, but I'm having some kind of problem with the throttle. It's almost like the engine cut down in power, so I'm using more amps, but it's not turning as much. I jiggled the cord on my throttle, and the engine stalled, like it went off. I turned off the the power, turn the power back on, and now I'm continuing, but it's at a different kind of rate. Before, I'm doing 3 knots, but I was doing that with 10 amps, 11 amps. Now I'm doing 16 amps, and yeah, I don't quite understand. So I'm going to keep going. I'm moving 2.2 knots over water, but there's definitely something wrong. It's not temperature. I'm a little disappointed. My temperature is up to 82. I've had to increase to 44 amps, which is how many watts is that? 2,800 watts. So basically at max speed, and I'm doing 2.9, but really I'm doing 2 over ground. Way too much effort. I think I picked up something on the prop. It's the only thing it could be that would make any sense. If it was temperature, the thing would have shut off, and it goes to 125, so there's something wrong. I'm gonna just dock here on the wall and swim down and check my prop. Well, we'll see what happens. I'm doing an emergency pull up here on the wall. I gotta swim down and check my prop. I think there's stuff on it. Okay, I think I found the problem. It's actually the throttle cable. I jiggled the throttle cable and my wattage went down in half. So something with this here on this joint. So I'm going to just take it apart and take a look what it's doing. So I thought, well, for sure one of my joins would have been the problem, right? But I had this nice sealing and everything. There's a crease right here and a wire's been cut right there. As soon as I touched it, I was able to modify the engine RPM. So yeah, I'm gonna peel this back, redo the connections. I'll just take a look at the wire, and then yeah, that's my problem. All right, it's got to be the joiner. I couldn't find a broken wire. It must be just the pressure pulling on it. I think it's the white wire actually, and I don't know what it does, the white on the throttle, but when I pulled and prodded on it, I was able to get the thing to turn on and off. So that might be part of the on-off switch. I'm not sure. So maybe it was just barely getting power or something. So I'm just going to trim back some and then cut the cables, the wires fresh. I've already cut the throttle or the wire side going back. And then I'm just going to try soldering them together instead of using these clips. Probably should have did that the first time. But my soldering iron's not very good, so I'll give it a try. I didn't expect to be making a repair this soon. Basically, I had to go from 10 amps to 44 amps to keep the same speed. Or not even the same speed, it was less. And they're all the same color coded except for one, yellow to orange. Every other one is the same. So these glasses are good at like about here, book reading, not this close. They're not bifocals. I have to go slow because I don't want to cut anything accidentally too hard. Alright, so I had some kind of issue. There was still power on here and it shorted out everything. I ended up killing every breaker. And yeah, I was like, okay, I just got solar back on, so it's charging, and the inverter's back on, so I can power this up here to do my soldering, but all the DC system's off. I think there's power though, because it powered up my Victron system, but I had to leave everything off for almost 10 minutes. So apparently there was still power on one of the wires. The black arced with something and it shorted something somewhere. That goes through the key to the controller. So I don't know if I blew my controller. I'll find out in a minute. I might be stuck here till I get a new controller. So I'm gonna just finish the soldering. I'm hoping that like a whole power reset of everything is all that's needed. So power's killed everywhere, and we'll see what happens. I'm just gonna finish soldering these wires. I found my paste, although I am very disappointed because I thought I knew the system inside out, but apparently there was power still on the cable, which would have went to the controller. So I'll see. I don't know if you can see this or not, but I'm more intent on fixing this than filming right now. Alright, so I checked the few things that I could with the Bluetooth, and it seems like things are powering up okay. My batteries went into a loop too, so I shorted out something on the main here, so I don't know if the controller's blown. So potentially I'm going to, when I flip the power onto the controller, that's the one part, because it didn't make any sense that there was still power on there. So, because unless it was like capacitance, like it's the only thing I could think of, because it's after the controller. So I killed the power to it. So it must have just had a charge in there. And then what had happened is the battery was actually cycling from 0 to 48 volts, 0, but now it's stable. So I'm just going to put that last one on and see what happens. Although maybe I shall turn off my chart plotters and things, because everything went wreaking havoc there last time. Power off. So I'm going to turn off the VHF, ceiling instruments, and my chart plotter. So really the only thing I have on here right now is the refrigerator going. That's drawing 50 watts, so it's no problems. I'm charging up here at 564 watts. So that's the current state. It shouldn't say 100, so I'm kind of confused. At 53 volts, it was at 80, something like 84% before the power glitch. So something's not right. I didn't have any heat shrink tubing, so I just taped them, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape the whole bundle and put it aside. Everything's been cut and resoldered. Get rid of the butt connectors. That's the only thing I could think of is with all the rocking, like wire must have just worked loose, and then it wasn't providing the right signal into the controller, and the controller thought like go at half speed or something, and then it was even worse after that. So I thought, okay, I've got a prop or something fouled in my prop, and it's really hard to move. But then I jiggled the cable, and then it just boom came back on. I'm like, okay, there's definitely a problem in the cable. So I'm going to see what this does here. We'll see if we can get to the just across the bridge. I'm like half a mile from where I need to be. Anyways, yeah, we hit like 80 some degrees. I'm gonna have to go back over and check it, but it'll be interesting to take a look at the stats now to try to figure out what happened just from the data. So I'll do that. I'm gonna go check the cable and the throttle now, see if it powers on. Nope. My throttle's toast. Now what? Or my controller's toast. Oh, hang on. I didn't turn the power on. There's the key off. I did forget that. Saying a prayer. No, as soon as I did that, something went. I heard something clicking off. Powers, the whole battery system's down again, so I can kill all the powers. So there's definitely a short in there. All right, my dad's down here. Are you in there somewhere?
Hello there.
Oh yeah, there you
How
are.
are ya?
Let me
How
just,
are we?
sorry, just give me 1 second. I'm just gonna try to make this more level.
You're on a boat.
Yeah.
Can't be level.
Well, we've got to do this fast. My battery's almost dead here in the camera. We finally figured out or proved out that the potentiometer type throttle is okay. Hey everybody.
Are you in there?
Yeah,
You can see.
we're all good. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey everybody. Just reporting on what we had to do to figure out what was happening. I have this little, you can't see it, I'll show up a little closer picture, but I have a little buck converter that I bought for another project. I needed to convert 12 volts to 3 volts. So I bought a variable one and I tweaked it to 5 volts because that's actually what this thing needs. And to prove this is was working okay, we needed to put voltage on it. We first measured it, and I don't understand why the potentiometer resistance doesn't change as you change the throttle, which is kind of weird. So what we did is we applied voltage to it, and I put some DC volts on. And the way that the potentiometer works is you put 5 volts into it, and if the voltage is one direction is low and then the voltage in the other direction is high, then you've got your
It's less than 2.5 volts.
yeah,
It goes one direction. If it's more than 2.5 volts, it goes in the other direction.
that's right. Yeah, exactly. So the middle point was 2.5 volts. So you apply 5, the throttle when it's in the middle should show 2.5 volts. So I got the voltmeter and I'm just checking the signaling wire, and
I don't think you got
I
power on.
see
Oh, there.
2.5 volts.
Okay.
And then Dad's going to move it. So I've got 0.5 volts on one side, DC, and then he's going to move it to the other side. And now he's got
Camera.
4.49 volts on this side. So to me, the potentiometer is working correctly. The throttle's okay. Morning, everybody. On my way to Detroit. It's a little, I'm not going to film everything, but I'm going to Golden Motor. They moved from Toronto to Detroit. I didn't know that. So I was like talking to the salesperson who helped me out originally, and because my controller's dead, I said I need a new controller. And he goes, well, we've moved. I said, they can ship it, but it'll take probably 2-3 days to get. And I'm like stuck in the canal. So I was like, okay, look, I can't wait. I'll come and get it. And he's like, well, I'm in Detroit now. And I was like, oh shit. So anyways, I got up at, I made it home. My dad picked me up and I made it home to, in Hamilton by, then I was up at 9 o'clock. We ate some supper. And then I'm on my way now, just alone, to go to Detroit. And one thing that Mooch there was telling me is that the VEC 500, that a controller that I have, it's becoming obsolete, and they're phasing it out, and now they're going with the EZKontrol, they call it. So I'm going to have a different controller, and this one's got Bluetooth on it, which is cool. And I'll be able to program everything, but also be able to see what it's doing over the Bluetooth. So I should be able to check it on my phone and be able to check direct temperatures of the motor, everything right there. So maybe there's a way I can pull that data, extrapolate it, and get it into the Victron system and on my chart plotter somehow. I'm not sure, but that's one thing that I've been always wanting. So maybe it behaves differently, I don't know, but being able to program it on my phone instead of having to log in with a laptop will save me another piece of gear, and I should be able to do that with my my MacBook as well. So anyways, I'll ask the guys over at Golden Motor if they are willing for me to do a little film in there, and it's just mostly warehousing, I imagine, but I'll just introduce the team there, and I'll say thanks for their help, and etc., etc. So anyways, carrying on. Hey everybody, I'm here at Golden Motor National Headquarters in Detroit with a boss. He's helping me out picking up my replacement controller, so I just thought I'd throw a shout out. Really appreciate the help from these guys helping me out in the jam. And yeah, you got any closing thoughts here, boss?
No, we're looking forward to the new project. Want to see how it works out on your sailboat, man.
Yeah, I'll be taking some videos and sending it his way. That's pretty unique. There's a rainbow in the cloud. I don't think I've seen that. I haven't seen that before. It's definitely up there. It's not lower. I'm just going to do a repair, a swap. This is my old vector controller. It's got power and ground, or positive and ground. It's got attachment to the motor with via the hall sensor and the 3 phases, the yellow, the green, and the blue. Which is X, C, and Z, I guess, on this one. I don't know. They call it on the new one. This is the new replacement, U, V, and W. But they do put the same color codes here. So this is the EZKontrol 48 volt 1200 amp replacement. This one was only 500 amps. And I say only, I mean, it's slots. But it's quite possible that with 500 amps, like you could... it needed to work hard to generate the conversion of DC to AC, because this is basically what this does. It takes 48 volts in DC, and there's 3 phases. So it just basically creates 3-phase solution for the AC motor. All motors are technically AC because they're a sine wave, and they're 3 phases. They're not DC. Although they're DC motors, it's just the way that they're wound, I guess, so that they can pull the phases. That's I call it. It's AC is in 3-phase, alternating phases. It's got 2 stators. My 10 kilowatt motor here, so it's a good motor. And as soon as I turn on the power to this, it shorts my whole system off. So this thing is shorted internally. So basically, the red and the black are touching right here. So I've got the breaker cut, and I was just testing it, and the breaker's definitely cut. There's no power, and I'm going to put this one in here now. So my plan of attack is to just take that out, and then I'm going to look at what I have, and then I don't have the right liquid cooling connectors here. The nice thing about this new controller is it actually comes with a liquid cooling plate. The vector controller didn't have a way to get fluid through it. So the fluid actually is a better heat transfer system. So I'm going to try to get this mounted on the old plate. I'm just going to put the same silicone heat transfer paste and just squish that in there. And then I might have to put it sideways or some direction. I'll figure that out first. So I'm just going to take this off, assess, and then I'm going to reuse what I can. And then it's got like an auto learn feature, the EZKontrol. So it's almost like you put it into self-learning mode and you move your throttle and stuff, and then it kind of figures out what to do. It beeps at you when it's ready. Or you can just program it, I guess. But I'm going to figure that out. So it was a long day today. Drove all the way to Detroit and all the way back. Actually drove yesterday at night. I crossed the border because I'm in Canada. And the border crossing was fine. The guys were good, both directions. Easy peasy. And then a long drive back. I was shouted to my dad. Huge help there. Thank you, Dad. He came down and got me to my house, and then I took my car across the border. Yeah, big help. Long day. So I'm going to get this controller out, take a look at what's going on, and then I'm going to put this one in. I'm going to wire it, and I may keep the throttle disconnected or not. I don't know. Because I think when I turn it on, I don't know what this EZKontrol will do. Or I don't know if when I just put power on it, can you connect to it via Bluetooth? I don't know about that either. So I'll find out when I turn it on. All right, let's just double check voltages. Make sure I've got nothing on. I know the breaker's off, but I'm just paranoid now. It's been off for a day. Yeah, it's all 0. All right. sensor. The vector, they both have an E-lock wire that has to be on the red in order for the switch to work and for it to turn on. Paste. Oh, there we go. Okay. So that's the heat transfer paste I was talking about. It's just like this silicone paste. So I'm going to put that down there and then put that in a bag. Let's just see how this basically looks. So if I put that like that, so this is me testing how far things reach. All right, so we don't need that here yet. I don't know if you can see very well here, but there's a heat transfer paste already on the back of that piece. You don't need a lot. I'm just going to smear it around and then smear some on the, I'm going to smush it mostly, and then it'll fill in any micro gaps, and then it'll take the heat out. Just, yeah, you don't want a lot of this stuff. Just a little bit, but my screws are too short, so I got to get some longer ones. And I got it kind of mounted. So I've got the red, yellow, green, blue, and black to go on, and then the plugs here on the back. And I'm hoping that there's some instructions to say which one's which of the big daughter plugs, but it's come along okay. All right, I got a little bit of battery power in this GoPro finally. Okay, so I just wanted to show that again here. So there's two plugs on the back, and if you look at the ends here, here's the two plugs. You can see that, right? Yeah. So the actual plugs are, one is shorter than the other by 1 pin, or two pins, but one length. So the one of the connectors is for the bus. This is the communication bus or CAN bus, and this is the one that is kind of like for the throttle. So one of these is bigger than the others, and my bet tells me that the bottom one, the one closest to the power, is the bigger one, and it goes like that, most likely. Yeah, so I got that already on. And then the other one is shorter, so it goes on this one. Little rubber connectors just to keep wires sort of organized. So I might just put a clip and hold that up there for now, because I'm not going to connect it up. And then this one I have to put down here so that it also doesn't get hit by anything. And then the hall sensor. This is the hall sensor. So I'll do these connections here last. But I wanted it on because I need this to be on the red. That's the what do they call it? The E-lock, they call it. So this, I don't know why there's another orange one here. So that's my throttle. And then this is my power. So these are really the only two on my old cable, throttle cable, that I have. I only have two things. So I think that's why the sensory thing is probably a good idea. Okay, so let me get the power and the ground on, and see if I can secure these better somehow. All right, some black wire just to get snaked up. Put up top here. There we go. Perfect. I'll just whittle this out. Okay. good. Now I'll slide that up and put the ground on the ground. Okay, so it's got power and ground, and now I'm going to put the motor cables on it. I just need to read up on this one cable here first. I'm going to read the manual again. Tight squeeze here. To get all these cables in without touching anything else. Okay. If I look worried, it's because I am. I don't have the money to keep messing things up. It's like, okay, I learned my lesson, right? Checked all the wires. Everything should be good. I should be able to turn the power on, right? It's designed to take 48 volts, so let's just go over it one more time together. So, my hall sensor is connected here. That's the only thing I've got connected from that cable. I don't have anything on the CAN bus connection. So I'm going to just tie wrap these up here for now. So that way they're out of the way. They don't fall into anything. The wiring harness, I'm just going to kind of get down here on this frame member. But for now, I've only got two things in it. So on the back here, I've got the original throttle cable, and the throttle cable is black, green, and white. And white, I learned, was 5 volts power, and this is red, green, and black. So, I mean, green, black, and red, the plugs matched. I'm a little bit confused on the power plug, and I don't really understand why there's this extra hanging thing, so I taped it up just in case it touches something. But I believe that this is the original 12 volts or 48 volts. And that might be, like, again, why I shorted the original one. But this is just the key switch. So it's got the lock coming off. And then looking at the label here, it says KSI, so K-switch. And this is the locking part. And it's on the same side as the power. So it's kind of like it's a ground loop. And then the other side is the red, which goes, no, sorry, the other side is to this red here. So this red goes to my switch, which is on the cable here. So, and this is red and brown. So then I have those jumpered on the wires over there, the exact same, kind of going up to the throttle up on the top. So I don't see why this would not, I would have anything mixed up, because the throttle is white, green, and black up top, and the other one was red and brown at the top. And over here I've got, well, red and red, but this side of it is red and brown. So I feel very confident that this wire here is correct. So I'm just not too sure I like the way that the wires are set here, but I don't have cable management and all this other stuff, but that's my original cable. It just feels like it's jammed. So I'm going to have to get some tie wraps and just kind of tie it up nicely, so that way I don't have stress on cables, but they're secure. And then this is the main power, 48 volts, which is disconnected here. That's my breaker. So I think I've got it right. So I'm going to turn it on, and hopefully it doesn't smoke. It shouldn't turn on at all, but I should be able to measure at least 48 volts here across this piece. So I'm going to do that now and just measure the 48 volts. And I would say this is the first time I was turning that on and my whole electrical system didn't blow up. 53.2. Okay. And this controller is rated for 48 to 75. According to the documentation. Okay, so I'm got the Hall sensor. I'm going to go hit the power switch, and then I'm going to find my phone. I don't know what's going on. The power switch is on, but it doesn't want to turn on. There's no power on this unit here. 3 volts. Okay. So there's something wrong with the switch on the throttle, or I just didn't hear it actually turn on. So I just clipped a couple wires together, and now when I throw the throttle in, it just wants to go. So it's got the wrong kind of throttle setting. So I'm just trying to figure out how to set that. Good morning, everybody. It's a couple of days now. I've been kind of tied up here on the wall at on the side of the bridge, actually. So I was glad that I made it here. This has been safe, and it's given me the opportunity to kind of work out things. I drove to Detroit and met the guys over at Golden Motor to give me a hand, and I picked up a new controller, and now it kind of works the same, and I had everything kind of connected correctly, and the throttle's working properly. The only thing is that there's a bit of a different noise now than it used to make. It used to just spin, and I have like this hum now in there, so I'm going to just demonstrate that to you. Okay, I still get that little single beep. You gotta listen for it. So over here on the display, I'm going to just take a look at the DC power and make sure that I've got roughly 750 watts. And this is the other thing I'm still trying to work out. The throttle's much more sensitive now. So there's just some settings in the controller that I haven't quite sorted out yet, but I'm just gonna do this now. So, okay, so that's like 1,000 watts. And there's just like a vibration in the motor. But it's not the like the physical vibration. It's like it's almost like it's not spinning smoothly. And that's the only thing that's different. It's almost like it's moving in small increments, and maybe it needs more. I don't know. That's what I've been trying to diagnose. Oh yeah, I'll show you the controller. That sucks about this my setup here is that I have to have this my cabin steps moved out, but anyway, so here's the controller. So it's kind of taking up the same space. It'll fit in there. I've got to tie up the wires a little bit. It's got 2 kind of connectors. This is for the CAN bus, and this is for all your throttle controls and everything. And it's wired the same as the VEC 500, so it was very simple for me to put in. The only thing is I had to kind of bypass the my original cooling or mounting location because it's bigger physically. But you can see here it's got these liquid cooling inserts. I was just trying to find the type of thread, and they're saying it's quarter thread, but I tried a quarter thread and it just wouldn't thread. So I don't know if that's North American standard or European standard or like what those things are. And I looked through my plumbing and I couldn't find anything to match that. So I don't know what it is. I gotta call the guys at Golden Motor again to find out what that is, but I'm going to show you the app. So this is the app. So it's connected, and when you go to monitoring, you can see the voltage, how much is coming in, the rotor speed, phase current, temperature of the controller, temperature of the motor, and this is the throttle voltage. So it's seeing 3.1 volts. I'm running at about 20% on the throttle, and it gives you all the phase current, phase A, phase B. So that's kind of how it's turning, right? So in the app, there's a couple things that I learned. So I go to settings, and now it actually connected to the settings. Under self-learning, the meter type was set to the other one, SIF, and then the throttle is really where I had to put the most. So the minimum fault threshold I lowered to 400. The main throttle minimum reference threshold, so this is sort of like when you leave middle, that's when it turns on, and then 2800 is when it turns on when you're going forward, and 45 is my max. So I had to change those values, and I had to change the throttle type to joystick Y from general. When it first connects in here, you can see it says general, so I have a Y joystick. I don't have a 2-position joystick. I lowered the temperatures for motor over temperature limits, but then in controller there's no temperature limits, so I don't know what this is. Torque control, I experimented with this for the boat. I needed on torque control. I put in a lower 2500 for max RPM, and then I left everything else the same. I found I tried the system has something called self-learning, so I did try that, and the self-learning failed, but I stopped it in the middle of it because I didn't know what it was like. It wasn't looking like it was doing the right thing, and what I found is that the meter part was set to that SIF type, not to Hall sensor. So that's probably why it was not working right, but because it was failed, I was kind of playing with the settings, but the settings weren't right, and I had a hard time with the motor. Like, it was acting really weird. So what I found here is there's an import, and if you go to import, you can pick factory settings, and then you can see here HPM 48 is actually my motor. So I did that, and I would say it's like all the settings kind of went based upon my motor. And like I said, it's supposed to be working, so I guess I don't know if that hum is normal or not. There's just, like I said, there's the hum in there, and you can really hear that. So I don't know if that's just normal or not, but it worked correctly with the throttle, and it's moving at 1100 watts right now, so I mean, it's gonna work. Just sounds different. So I don't know if I can tweak that, so I'm just gonna take the boat from where I am right now, tied up against the wall before the bridge. I'm gonna pass through the bridge to go into the Bay of Quinte, and they have these blocks over there, so I'm just gonna go sit on the block and tweak things a little bit more. I also want to run a wire for the cooling. The cooling system does work, so back on the monitoring page, this is useful, much more useful. And if I can get this out on the CAN bus, I'm gonna like this. So it's telling me that the controller temperature and the motor temperature are 40. So I still have my pickup, and it's touching. There's like a significant amount there, but it's not the whole thing. And I have the cooling plugs with holes in them in the plate behind. So I want to get the liquid cooling going through the plate. So right now it's 41 degrees. It started at 30 degrees. That's the ambient temperature of the unit, and it just seems to keep going up. And then when I put the blower on and run the cooling, it was keeping it down. So it went up as high as 56 without any cooling, and I was just sitting here at the dock, and I ran it for about 15-20 minutes. But when I put the cooling, the blower on, it did pick up, and it was removing the cooling. It was dropping. So I feel confident that the liquid cooling system that I have, even though it's not going through the plate directly, it's still picking up heat and getting rid of it. So I'm confident on that part. I think that's okay. So I'm going to give that a go, do a little bit more experimenting, but I'm going to say it's working. I just don't know if it's working properly, I guess is really where my headspace is. So more on this later. Yeah, still scratching my head here. Okay, so Abbas from Golden Motor sent me all of the stats. Everything's the same except for the ones on the factory default. So basically I had the settings identical to one out of the box, except for just some small tweaks on like temperatures and things, but that's okay. So here's the plan. I guess logically this makes sense in my head. I'm going to motor to the blocks at the end of the Murray Canal, which means I need the bridge to open, and that'll be my test. I'm going to do a live test. The liquid cooling, so back on temperature, this unit has 8 ports, and I have a standard plumbing quarter thread that does not, it fits like in the hole, but it won't thread. So it's a different thread. I'm hoping that that's the G1/4 thread. I just, for computers, I bought some and I can't find them on my boat. And I looked in storage when I was in Hamilton. So I went to my storage unit and I couldn't find them there. So I don't know where they are. So that's a problem. So for me, that liquid cooling I want to get added in. It's a bigger plate, and although that my liquid cooling did affect the cooling, it did cool. It's just like putting the liquid right in there is going to pick up all that heat way better than my little ones. I would say mine is about maybe 50% the surface area of the bigger unit. So I'm only taking 50% of the heat off of the controller. So I just want to make sure that I get that integrated in, which means I got to order 8 things and send them somewhere. So once I get over to the other side, I'll feel how comfortable I am, whether I can make it to Belleville or not. So I'm in Trenton, I'm close to Trenton. So if I could make it to Belleville, then I would go to Belleville. And I already know that there's a yacht club there that I could stay at overnight, or I could optionally ship something to. So what I would do is I would order it, and then when I get there, I'll stay a day and I'll install the liquid cooling. On Thursday there's a big storm. Today's Tuesday, so I'd rather be tied up anyway. So if I can get there, today, tomorrow, even tomorrow, if I sat on the wall till tomorrow, it'd be fine. Then I would wait out the day on Thursday, stay at the marina or the yacht club, and then come back in. I just need the motor to work. So I think if I go a mile, I'm just going to at least put my anxiety level down, and we'll see how it goes. So that's the update. I'm going to just carry on doing what I'm doing. Yeah, I just wanted to say thanks to bridge operator Chris here from Parks Canada. Very gracious for letting me get my problem sorted out with the motor here. I just got to give him a call when I'm about ready to go, and I'm going to, it looks like there's a boat coming in here. I'm just going to swing over to the other side. There's actually a dock there, I didn't know, so that's even shorter. And then I'll be able to hole up, do more testing, and he said I'm fine even if I want to stay there till Friday. So it's just that once I'm confident that my motor's good, then I can venture out. And there's a big storm on Thursday, so it might be better to be on the dock anyway.
Carrying Place Bridge to oncoming sailing vessel. I'm opening the bridge now. I just had to wait for traffic. If you could monitor channel 14, please.
Okay, I'm going to help this guy. He looks like he's docking. I'm not sure. So this gentleman going through the bridge. I called in to Chris here at Parks Canada to let him know that his VHF wasn't working. Through the Carrying Place Bridge. That's what the bridge looks like. So I'm going to go ahead, do a UE, and then do a docking on that dock over there, the wooden dock. So we'll see how that goes. This is the east end of the Murray Canal. I'll be coming down here. there is a woodpecker. What are those? Turkey vultures? They're just sitting there. Connectors came in, so I'm going to carry on working out here with the electric motor. These are the 10 mil and G1/4 thread fittings, and I have to say that the machining is not perfect here based on the things like it fits it and it does screw in, but it's really tight. But I don't feel like it's cross-threaded. It feels like it's going in. So I can kind of get it started by my finger, but then I have to use the wrench to get it in. And like I said, it feels like it turns. It just feels really tight. So what I did is I put a little bit of Teflon tape around the edge. I had to cut the Teflon in half because there's not many threads. There's only like 2.5 rows of threads showing, just to get it in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm only going to do the top and the bottom, and I'll do a loop through that, and I won't touch the other ones just by some chance that the threads leak or something, but I don't think so. So I put the gas-based Teflon tape on there. I use the gas one because I just like it thicker, and it's anti-corrosive material. It's not the regular Teflon, so it should be good with antifreeze, for example. Okay, so I'm going to turn it on, the blower, and we'll see what that does. Not seeing much here. The motor one is moving. I wonder if I've got those backwards in terms of cooling. I had a question about that when I was sailing. So the one on the right is controller, the one on the left is motor, labeled motor. The one on the left is moving, but I don't see it moving here. I'm having a brain fart. I put the motor one on, but it's not the motor, it's the controller that I'm working with. So I'm going to put the controller on, and then we'll see if the fluid goes through the controller. That's what I wanted to see. So basically the motor one was turning, which was the way it's supposed to turn. So now when I turn this on, we should see those line there in the front fill up. There it goes. So I'm going to check for leaks now. And I'm almost out of fluid, so I got to go top up the fluid. So I'm going to have to fill it up. Okay, I'm going to do a quick leak check. This silicone hose is actually really good. I bought, it's like a high pressure silicone, high temperature. And it's very pliable. It doesn't seem to get, here's an empty piece, but you know, it's like squishable. And yeah, it seems to be working really good for me in this application. I was just worried about these joints really more than anything, not the hoses, but I don't see anything leaking here. No, that one's leaking. I can see it leaking. one's not, but this one is. Yeah, quite a bit. Alright, I'm gonna tighten that one down more. I just gave them another little snug and they seem to have stopped leaking. 3 out of the 4 leaked. That's even with my tape and butted up. So I think I was right about the machining. The screws aren't perfect, and then these don't bite very deep. So they're kind of reliant. They come with like a black O-ring on the end, and these connectors are kind of reliant on that squeezing and cutting off any fluid leaks. So anyways, I'm gonna let it run for maybe about a half an hour. So right now the way I've got it going is it goes in here, comes out here, goes in at the bottom, comes around, and then goes back to the canister. And as I mentioned earlier, the canister's dropped the fluid levels because I've now filled up the extra cavity. I didn't drip much. I put a cloth down there below, but I just had drips from the leaks, so they seem to have stopped. And so I'm going to let it run for about half an hour, and then I'm going to call it a day as long as I don't see any. The motor one and the controller, when they're running, they pull a little bit more out, and I just don't remember if I can open it with or not when they're running. So let me just check that. So you can see they're both running. This one's just full. So I just don't remember if I can open this while it's live. Yeah. So basically, some of the fluid is down because I've got some air. So I need to get. I can't get this in a spot. Now I can't turn them off and open them because there's an air vent. And I think it's because this is like a little bit higher, this radiator, than the pump, and the pump should be the highest spot. I used to have it that way, but I didn't have a place to put it here. So this is the way it is. It looked good here, so I'm going to let it run and then, like I said, check for leaks. Leaving the Murray Canal, heading out into the Bay of Quinte. Next stop, Belleville. Oh, that plane's taking off again, the huge cargo crane plane. I don't remember what it's called, or the number of it, like S1 or something. It's a huge plane. Military. There's Trenton in the distance. And Trenton Marina. We have to go by this buoy here first, but I'm going to carry on straight for a while. New motor. The new motor worked okay. It's got a slight vibration to it, but it is working okay. I'm going to get that Android phone in Belleville and see if I can figure out how to factory reset the controller and then reload the settings. So I've got a little bit of legwork to do there when I land. By the time I get there, the wind is going to shift from I'm getting it on my beam, so it's on at 120 right now, but I suspect it's going to switch to my stern, so it'll be dead stern. But I have to turn 90 degrees to go in, so the wind is going to push me on the wall more or less. So I just kind of have to slow down, stop, and hopefully just gently go to the starboard side and, catch the wall. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But in the meantime, it seems like it's going okay. I've got about 12 to 15 knots. and I'm just running the jib just to keep my speed down. I'm doing 5.5 knots with just the jib out, so lots of wind. I can see the bridge now. That's the bridge just in front of Belleville. It's a big tall arch bridge. So I'm going through the channel. I got to go between this green and the red over there, and then head towards the bridge.